What's good, e-biker? So this is it. This is the 72 volt Escape Ranger that I just purchased, and today I'm going to kind of go over just first impressions with the bike. We'll do a quick ride at the end as well and test out some of the speeds. This is a fast e-bike, and I can go lots of different speeds here with this thing. We'll get into the tuning of it later, but today is just about for first impressions, give you a quick look at the bike, tell you why I bought it. So let's get into it. Before I do that though, you can buy this bike today. It's for sale, about $2,800 or so. Use code Chris100 to save $100 off. He's bringing them over in small batches here. This company's out of Tennessee. His name is Joel. So I got a chance to text and talk with him as well throughout the process of buying this e-bike. Had to wait a few weeks. The batteries shipped separately. So I've had this bike for almost a month now, and just finally getting to ride it here in this last week once I got those batteries. So let's get into more about why I bought this thing. All right, so first of all, this is a 3,000 watt e-bike, and it goes fast. You can actually tune it to go kind of as fast as you want, up to like 60, I think. Now, I'm not going that fast. I don't plan on doing that. But I do like to be able to go at least 40 with traffic. And with my e-cells 5-star that I had previously, I couldn't do that. I could get to like 34, 35. That was kind of the max on that e-bike. So I want something a little bit quicker. And the only way to do that is really to go to a 72 volt system here, which is this e-bike is. Okay, and 72 volts, you get a lot more speed out of that. Here's a look at the e-bike. I've already put a few things on it. I wanted something quicker, but I also want something in a smaller footprint here. And this is a 20x4 fat tire. Okay, this is a much more agile bike to maneuver around. You know, I've got a garage, I have a limited space sometimes. So I wanted something small, with a smaller footprint. And this fit that bill. This was the bike I chose to do that. I've been looking for like a good fast 20x4 e-bike to put in the garage and kind of use as my main speed bike. And this is now that bike. So that's number one reason why I got this thing. And I spent money on this, so I did not get it for free. So of course, all my reviews are, I'll do a review on this coming up. Today's just kind of a first impression video and give you some more thoughts around the why, how that I got. Now, if you notice here, the batteries are located right in the middle of the e-bike. So this is a 15 amp hour. This is a 20 amp hour. Again, 72 volt system here. So the center of gravity on this thing is right in the middle here, essentially. Whereas the e-cells, you had one battery down here and you had one in the rear rack, which gave the bike, you know, a little more length and a little more wobble there. Or flex, if you will. But this is really interesting e-bike because everything's right in that center there, so it has a really low center of gravity. That should help with cornering and things like that and stability on the road. Now it's bigger than a normal 20x4 for sure. It's kind of like an extra large almost if you look at any kind of a typical 20x4 fat tire e-bike. This is a little bit more, the handlebars are definitely higher because it has a adjustable stem there. So it's not as small as a typical 20x4, like say my Ebikes Ranger 3.0, but pretty close. I say it's like 10% bigger than that as far as just the overall footprint of the frame and the handlebars and that kind of thing goes. Here's a look at the Bafang motor back here. This e-bike is also a complete Bafang system here. So motor, controller, and display are all from Bafang. And actually there's an app called Bafang Go. You can actually pair the bike with that app and get into some of the settings as well. Although I'm not sure all the settings work in the app. I'm still playing with it, but you have there's turn-by-turn directions in there and some other stuff as well. So this is the first kind of complete Bafang e-bike that I've owned. So I'm really looking forward to that. Bafang is well known for their motors. They've been in this business for a long time, so this should be a really good motor over time. And the quality of this thing is top-notch. I mean, it should be for $2,800, and I just love the overall look of this e-bike, the fit, the finish. It is pretty tight. This is a gray color. It's kind of a light gray, almost a bluish tint to it, if you will. So I'm going to do a little contest here for naming the bike. I've been thinking about a few names, maybe the Gray, or Greyhound, or Greystoke. I'm going to put a little note on YouTube there and see if what you guys think about that. But help me name this e-bike because it's going to be part of my permanent fleet from now on. And I just wish that It was in November already. All the leaves are gone. So it's going to be cold riding this thing. But now the other thing to know about this bike is that you can kind of tune it to specs you want. So within the settings here, I can actually go in and specify percentages for each of the PS levels here. So let me go in here, and I'm going to scroll over to all the way to the right. So in here I got pedal speed limit percentage, pedal current limit percentage, so the throttle, or the controller, throttle speed limit percentage, and throttle current limit percentage. Okay, so I can go into this for the throttle, and I can drop it down here, and I can say, okay, here's what I did. So 35% for PS1 throttle speed, 50%, 65, 90, and 100%. So you can tune this thing. So, you know, if you put it in 100%, this bike has a ton of torque. I think it's 190 newton meters, maybe something like that. It's close to 200 newton meters of torque. And so this bike will take off on you. So you got to be careful here. So I've definitely tuned it down a bit. So it's a manageable e-bike to ride and throttle around. Here's your twist throttle up here. All right, so you get pushback. As soon as you hit that throttle, you feel that torque. And you want to make sure that you can tune those settings to your liking so that you're not going crazy with this e-bike and dumping it somewhere. Because trust me, if you have never ridden a fast e-bike like this, first time you hit that throttle, you will start to fall back on that seat. And the other part about taming the bike is the current limit here. So basically how much power goes through that throttle, right? So let's take a look at that. So throttle current limit, again, I set it at 35% on the PS1, 50, 65, 90. So just like the speed limit essentially. So the power ramps up as you put it in the different levels here. So we're going to test this out today. You know, I definitely tuned it down here. Actually, I want to tune it down really low and see how that affects the throttle. So we'll do that on the test right here. Now, the other thing I want to mention too is the legality of this e-bike. So here in Connecticut, where I live, they just passed a new law that sets parameters for certain bikes that are over 750 watts. Okay, so this is 3,000 watt, and that falls under what's called a motor-driven cycle in Connecticut now. And all I need is a license to operate this e-bike. So this bike is legal in Connecticut. And again, I just need a driver's license to do that. If it were over 3,700 watts, which is like 5 horsepower, it would be considered a motorcycle at that point. You'd have to register and get insurance for it. Something like a Spark Cycle Works, what they build and sell. But this is, what also is cool about this e-bike, it looks more like a regular e-bike. All right, that you're used to seeing. It looks more like the regular fat tire e-bikes out there. So even though it can go, motorcycle type speeds, it is something that you can pedal. It's got a cadence or torque center in it as well, which is really nice. And yeah, it's a legal e-bike, which is nice. I didn't want to write something illegal in my home state here. So that's another reason I bought this e-bike. Now let's take it out on the road here. We'll do some just kind of runs with the throttle here and give you a sense of what it feels like on the road. And again, I'm going to do a full video on this as far as the review goes, so stay tuned for that. But let's hop on this thing and check her out. So with any e-bike like this, you really need to learn this e-bike slowly as you start to ride this thing. At least for me anyway. Like, I need to be safe here. I'm in my 50s and I don't want to crash. So taking my time with this, learning all the ins and outs, how it handles. That's the most important, I think. And what the weight is like. And the speed, of course, you got to be careful with that throttle. So let's take it up for a real spin here and see how we do. This bike weighs 135 pounds, so it is definitely the heaviest e-bike I've ever ridden, I believe. I did test ride this. Alex and Maximum Charge has one, and after I test rode it, I was like, wow, pretty cool. It had the format I was looking for. It felt pretty good on me. So I'm in eco right now, 95% battery. There's that throttle. It's got a nice little kick to it there. Even though the speed here is only about 16. I'm just gonna keep it on my local streets here. So yeah, I got so set about 15, 16. Again, with that throttle speed limit. I'm gonna pull over here and we're gonna put it down to like 10% on the throttle, PS1, and just see what that does. I want to get a feel for the throttle and the settings here and make sure that it is, taming it a bit here. That's the word I use. Like, these e-bikes are so fast, you got to kind of tame them so they're not like just spit you out as soon as you hit that throttle, right? So let's do that here. So throttle current limit. So it's 35% currently. I'm gonna drop that down to, let's just try 10% and just see what that does to the throttle. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna exit out of here. Okay, back to the regular settings. All right, now I'm gonna hit the throttle. Oh yeah, I definitely did it right. So this is pretty tame. Not a lot of current coming out of that throttle there on that setting. Now if I bump it into 2, here we go. And I get this set to around 23 miles per hour. Sport. This is a dead end here, so don't yell at me for stop signs, guys. I'm getting more of those comments, by the way. It's really annoying. Look at the pullback on this thing. Nice. So from a dead stop, like, watch this. $28, $29, and tap those brakes there. These brakes are Tektros, looks like, yeah. I'm in sport mode right now. That's like the S3. And let's go up to the circle up here. I'll corner this bike. The screen says I have a message. I don't know what that means. It says received a message right there. Not quite sure what that is. Man, this bike is super smooth. It is quiet too. It's much quieter than that Hentac motor on the E-Cells had, or I think even like the Wired Bikes has. All right, I'm gonna put it in Sport Plus, and I'm gonna lean forward a bit here because that throttle's gonna kick in probably. So, oh yeah. There's 20, there's 30, and there's 40. Damn, that is fast. All right, I'm not gonna do the what's the last one? Boost. Well, I guess I could. Let's try that. There's 40 already. Wow. Whoa. Yeah, I felt that front wheel come over a little bit there when I did that. So boost is really danger mode there. I'm going to keep it in Tour probably. Maybe increase those speeds a little bit in the Eco Tour sections a little bit, so I can go a little bit faster. But that's the first look here at the Escape Ranger, and let me know what you guys think, guys. Pretty psyched about this bike. It feels great. It just feels pretty solid. Going around the corners here, there's no rattling. You feel a lot of weight underneath here. You really feel that comfort and the stability as you're riding here. It does remind me of a motorcycle a bit, just as far as like riding it. Although I've never really ridden a motorcycle, but I can imagine it feels more like this than a regular e-bike here. See how quiet that is? Just I mean, you can't even hear that. It's pretty windy today, so. But anyway, I'll do the full review coming soon. And let me know what you guys think about the Escape Ranger here. And yeah, put in the comments here. What would you call this e-bike? Name it. It's gotta have the word gray in it though. I kind of like that. Greyhound, the gray. What was it? Greystoke. Give me something else, guys. Give me a couple other options out there. And I'm gonna keep playing with this thing. It's got pretty good stability too, with no power. Although it does want to lean.